here's the incredibly simple story about how I got the chance to shoot Stanley Kubrick. Basically, he's been my idol as a filmmaker since I was a little kid, and so I started off just writing letters, and I figured that would work, but that was not for me. But then I figured about the 6 degrees of separation idea. Maybe I should employ that concept. So what I did was I reached out to my dad, and he's a businessman and pretty connected, so he knew some people. So we went from him, and we called the governor of Connecticut, good guy, really connected as well, who actually knew Walter Payton, who actually got my dad business with him in St. Louis, but that's another story. But he was connected to a guy at Warner Brothers named Steve Ross, who ran it before he died, who then, of course, ate at Doug Fluey's restaurant in downtown New York, where my dad was a partner. But when he was involved with the NFL, he met Trump, who he made friends with, and Trump, of course, knew my Uncle Jim, who started Ron McDonald House with Jim and the Eagles and had the NFL connection. But he actually knew some people in the entertainment industry who knew that guy, I don't even know how to say his name, from 2001, who actually knew a friend of Trump's who got called again and put into the loop. But he actually, this time, said he knew someone at Disney, so he arranged a lunch with, I think it was Ivanka, who went, and she actually got the call set up with Kubrick. It was actually sort of like it was 11 degrees of separation.
Hello?
Yeah, I got on speakerphone with the assistant.
Listen, I can't hear too well. Do you suppose you could turn the music down just a little? Oh, that's much better. Yes. Fine, I can hear you now.
And Stanley for about 38 seconds.
I'm coming through fine too, eh? Good, then. Well then, as you say, we're both coming through fine. Good. Well, it's good that you're fine then, and I'm fine. I agree with you. It's great to be fine. You know how we've always talked about the possibility
of letting me come to England and to let me...
well, let me finish.
For him to allow me to...
Let me finish. Why do you think I'm calling you? Just to say hello? Of course I like to speak to you. Of course I like to say hello. Not now, but anytime. It's a friendly call. Of course it's a friendly call. Listen, if it wasn't friendly, you probably wouldn't have even got it.
So once we got past kind of the awkward part of every kind of first conversation you have with somebody, he let me pitch him, regarding this idea of doing an interview, just getting 1 hour to do an interview. And he surprisingly said yes, but with one condition. And I just got on a plane and went to London right away. During the flight to London, by the way, I just could not sit still. I was just so excited. I was planning all the questions, writing them down. What was I going to do with this 1 hour I had with this legend, with this person that's been called the greatest filmmaker ever? I mean, it was just, I couldn't believe it was happening. I even got a chance, to talk to the pilots. This was before 9/11.
Where? Kubrick.
I told them where I was going, and they were kind of excited. They were Kubrick fans as well. But what was interesting about this was I found out when I got there, and this is kind of a long story, is that, one of the conditions, there's really only one condition to doing this, and that was that I had to sign this really complicated non-disclosure agreement that for 15 years, not only could I not show the footage of whatever I filmed that day, but I couldn't even tell anybody I had done this. I couldn't tell an agent, a lawyer, an investor. I couldn't tell my wife-to-be. I couldn't tell my parents. I couldn't tell anybody, and that was sort of frustrating, personally, artistically, financially, and otherwise. And so therefore it wasn't until basically 2014 that I was able to even disclose to people that I had even gotten this interview and do the raise to finish this film, which you are about to watch right here. So I hereby present the fruits of a 17-year labor, and which I call shooting Stanley Kubrick.
He is considered by many the greatest film director the medium has ever known.
Frankly, I think that's an understatement. I mean, I think the guy is pretty much a god amongst men, and I think you may be as surprised as me as to what he talked about. I felt like a man that was on a mission that was unique in my entire life.
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
So I rented this really sweet ride, and I drove to the left hand side of the road, which was really a weird experience. And then I got to Kubrick's. Okay, I hate to interrupt and break the fourth wall, but I thought I had the right address. I mean, there wasn't exactly a mailbox that said Kubrick. But then I was like, sweet, they're sitting in a car. It was like a Rolls Royce. It was sweet. And I thought Stanley was going to pop out, but
We got to get him out of here.
unless he had a makeover, that wasn't Stanley. Hey, just for the record, I have to tell you that I almost shit my pants when I saw this guy. He pretty much was the scariest guy I've seen in my life. Having absolutely no idea what's going on, I took the envelope hoping that would make the guy go away, and fortunately, that actually worked. But I had no idea what was going on. If it wasn't already weird enough, the damn piano came out of nowhere. I don't know where the hell that was, in the woods somewhere. And I read the letter. So apparently I had flown across the Atlantic for no reason, and Trump was a big liar. Okay, that was a total joke. If you haven't seen Eyes Wide Shut, that was a scene from it. Just playing around, trying to do my own creative thing. I probably failed. Anyway, he wanted me to sign some papers. No big deal. We were scheduled to meet the next day. Everything was cool. Just chill in London, take in the sights, maybe meet a few people, make some friends. Then they called.
Are you sorry you faded away there?
Then canceled
What?
the meeting.
Well, listen, how do you think I feel about it?
It would just be a couple days.
Yes?
He was editing Eyes Wide Shut.
Right?
It'd only just be a few days.
What? I see.
Well,
Uh-huh.
a few days turned into a few weeks. Well, a few weeks turned into actually a few months.
Can you imagine how I feel about it?
And basically, after waiting by the phone for approximately 6 months, I finally got a call
Hello?
on March the 3rd, 1999.
Is there something bad here?
Yes?
I was told he was profusely apologetic.
I am as sorry as you are.
So sorry, so busy editing Eyes Wide Shut.
Don't say that you're more sorry than I am, because I'm capable of being just as sorry as you are. So we're both sorry, all right? All right.
They gave me precise directions to his massive estate.
Where is that?
I almost crashed my car 3 times on the way.
Oh, you're calling first, will you?
The day had come to finally shoot Stanley Kubrick.
Robert, now let's see your position.
What are you drinking?
What'll it be?
I'm awfully glad you asked.
I can't remember.
So here's what.
Desperate begging.
You slip me a bottle of bourbon,
Okay.
a little glass,
Okay.
and some ice.
Okay.
You're not too busy, are you? You can do that?
We'll get a PA.
That's swell.
We'll freshen that up.
I always liked you.
I know my attorney and your attorney have gone.
Is there anything else? Just
We'll make you another one. We'll freshen that up.
No. If you had a tea break at 4, you don't need to break for this tea break.
if there's anything else, just they notify my lawyers. I'll take care of it.
This must be just, a complimentary tea break.
They notify my lawyers. I'll take care of it.
Fucked around for an hour. As you got strong at the end.
Is everything looking in order?
Broke for tea at 4.
Sign the release. Correct?
And you have a tea break at 6 o'clock.
Could you just say?
A quarter to 7, and then you break for a meal at 7:30.
Could you say the title of your new film?
You don't have to break for tea at 6.
I will.
So figure it out. My upcoming film,
Eyes Wide Shut.
Eyes Wide Shut
Eyes Wide Shut.
is all about secrecy.
All right, Terry.
It's an honor to be doing this.
These two men are a little far apart.
I am just sincerely thankful and grateful for this opportunity. I want to thank you for doing this interview. I know you rarely give interviews.
That's right.
Despite the fact that he never gave interviews.
That's
true.
Do you need water? Are you okay?
Let's stay there now. We're really getting ready.
No, would you like something?
One other thing. 3 shakes. There's 3 beats when you do it. When they say, "Here's my rifle. This is my gun. This is my gun. This is for fighting. This is for fighting. This is for fun. This is for fun." 3 shakes. This is my gun. No, you're timed to the thing. Here's my rifle. This is my gun. This is for fighting. This is for fun. This is for fun. So give it 3 because a lot of people are still touch and go.
You look at your incredible body of work. People think your films are the best films ever made.
Considered by many
People think you're
the greatest film director.
You must be very proud.
Yes.
You know how we've always talked about the possibility of something going wrong with the bomb.
But of course, like most perfectionists,
What exactly is the treatment going to be then?
I often wish I
Just going to show you some film.
could have done things differently.
You little scumbag! I got your name! I got your ass! You will not laugh! You will not cry!
Stop it, please! I beg you!
Well, what made you call?
The whole point of the Doomsday Machine is lost. If you keep it a secret, why didn't you tell the world, eh?
I know you have some ground rules. You want me to hold this footage for 15 years? 15 years after your death? Before I can show it. Am I clear on that condition?
That sounds about right.
15 years from the day of your death.
I love working for Uncle Sam!
Which, God forbid, I mean, I hope you make 80 more films or...
I love working for Uncle Sam!
Well, at your rate, 3 more films or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Let me know
May I ask?
just who I am!
Why the delay?
Let me know just who I am!
Upon greeting Kubrick, my idol, what can I say? It's not that I wasn't as impressed as I thought I'd be, but he was, he looked tired. He looked unkempt. His hair was long. He just looked like he'd been working himself to death. And frankly, I was worried about him. I had nothing to lose, so I decided to be honest with him.
No offense. Look a little haggard right now.
Well, also, yeah, because I haven't been taking care of myself too well.
Because you look a little worn.
I've been drinking a lot, but...
Clearly, he had something on his mind.
We are all, by any practical definition of the words, foolproof and incapable of error.
Well...
No 9,000 computer
This is difficult.
has ever made a mistake
Because it's the first time I've talked about it.
or distorted information.
Sure, I
Just a moment.
that's fine.
Just a moment.
Take your time all the time you need.
I'm so... preoccupied with my work.
Well, he acts like he has genuine emotions.
Innovation,
Of course, he's programmed that way to make it easier for us to talk to him.
risk-taking,
But as to whether or not he has real feelings
regrets.
is something I don't think anyone can truthfully answer.
Why are you giving this interview?
Because it started to get to me after a while. I've always been conflicted about it, I guess, but I wasn't conscious of it until years later. At first, I was just blown away by
these wonderful circumstances,
chance,
and began his professional work.
The opportunity, the challenge.
Rien ne va plus.
Of making this production, and I went into it like it was a regular film, like another.
Sorry about this.
Regular film of mine.
I know it's a bit silly.
Not thinking too much about the long-term effects, what it would mean to society if it was ever discovered.
What are you talking about?
It's puzzling.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well,
Let me put it this way.
A confession of sorts. A movie I made that nobody is aware of, even though they've seen it.
A movie you made, no one knows you made. Is that what you said?
That's right. And intriguing? Do I have you intrigued? I perpetrated a huge fraud on the American public, which I am now about to detail, involving the United States government and NASA, that the moon landing was fake. The moon landings all were fake. And I was the person.
Here's Johnny!
Who filmed it.
Okay. What are you talking?
It blew my mind.
You're serious?
I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this before.
I'm serious.
Why didn't you tell the world, eh?
Dead serious.
Okay.
The fake moon landing.
It's all based on
It was fake.
a kind of mind-blowing situation, and
Wait.
the idea was to make you believe
It was not real.
it all the way.
T-minus 60 seconds.
That you really were watching that.
Well, let's get on with it.
The moon landings were fake.
Sorry about this.
Okay.
Rumors about
A fictional moon landing.
On the bottom rung of the ladder. Just one more step and I'm...
no one could have been unaware of the very strange stories
It was not real.
floating around before we left.
Tranquility. Holy living fuck.
A fantasy.
On the moon. I never gave these stories much credence,
The moon landings were fake.
but particularly in view of some of the other things that have happened,
It was fake.
I find them difficult to put out of my
I don't want
mind.
this to be an R-rated film, so I don't want to say what the blank, but seriously,
I know it's a bit silly.
I worked almost 8 months to secure this once-in-a-lifetime interview that almost no one else could ever get, and instead of talking about his 16 films that I've adored since I was being a child...
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Frank Reynolds at ABC Space Headquarters in New York. 3 seconds away
This is not
from the Apollo 11 liftoff.
where I thought the interview was going.
35 seconds.
What do you think this mission will tell us about man?
Why in God's name would...
can see you're really upset about this.
Tranquility. Are you fucking believing this? Over.
Launch Complex 39 was cleared, and we began to load liquid propellant into the launch vehicle.
I don't know what to ask you first. If you're telling the truth, why would you do it? Why the hell did you do this?
I didn't want to do it. It just was. It was against my principles.
Loud and clear now, Mike, and we understand that you are a doctor.
That's right. TV looks really great.
I thought it was wrong. I
11, you got a pretty big audience.
I didn't believe in perpetrating a fraud like that.
It was right. It was right perfect. Roger, how does it look? The Eagle has wings.
But you did.
Capcom, we're go for landing. Eagle, you're looking great. The Eagle has landed. And we're getting a picture on the TV.
It also undermined my artistic integrity to do that.
I honestly think you ought to sit down calmly. Take
holy mother of fuck.
A stress pill and think things over.
Okay.
What? Diane, please.
But you ended up saying yes. Why?
All engines, you're looking good.
Okay, ready for me to come out?
Well, yeah.
The fucking moon. Over.
Became indeed for all mankind.
Because basically, I was bribed.
For one priceless moment in the whole history of man.
To put it bluntly, that's what it was. It was just a plain fucking bribe.
Looking good.
I wanted the...
Roger.
Good night from up.
I mean, I just...
I have 3 contacts.
You know...
That is on the way up.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things.
I sold out.
Not because they are easy.
I was a fucking whore.
I think a lot of things happened right here, and not all of them was good.
Why didn't you come clean in, 75, 74, whenever?
I apologize, sir, for not telling you sooner.
You lied for 30 years about this.
Well, not anymore.
Today, war is too important to be left to politicians.
We're coming up on T-minus 32 minutes, 21 seconds. Mark. At the present time, all systems are go. All lights are green.
So you feel bad about this, clearly. I mean, this is not...
I do feel bad about it.
Wow. I mean...
I also feel proud of it. It's a terrible conflict.
that because of the stress of this?
Of course. Stress, guilt, just conflict of all kinds.
Why is it important for somebody to take even this, consider that this might be truthful? But someone could say, you know what, this guy's off his meds. He's going senile. Stanley Kubrick's lost his marbles. I mean, why should we question such a sacred achievement by America? Why should Americans believe you? Why should Americans even analyze this question? We're taking our arguably greatest achievement and saying it didn't exist.
I am devoted to truth.
Why did it take 30 years?
Get the president out of the way and hire Stanley Kubrick.
Just, how about you walk me through it?
Stanley Kubrick.
I was contacted before I started making 2001.
The man who created 2001. You kind of wonder if he made a deal.
Under the Masonic moon.
And
when he was brought into it.
After Kennedy said his thing, you're saying?
How the deal was made.
Why are you telling me?
A massive fraud.
We are still
an unparalleled fraud
with Apollo 11.
Perpetrated against them.
Unit going to internal power.
They should know.
I understand.
Why in God's name?
Thank you for telling me the truth.
Don't you think it's important for people to know the truth?
You deserve it.
And we are all about to witness the fulfillment of that promise that President Kennedy made.
It's about the ability to do things with military technology. All that stuff they use for NASA, all the stuff they use for the stealth bomber, the space shuttle, all those missions, that's to fuel the military-industrial complex.
It's no secret that NASA always wanted to fulfill this Kennedy prophecy.
We choose to go to the moon.
Landing a man on the moon.
In this decade.
This decade is out.
And do the other things.
And returning him safely to the earth.
Not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Take us back to the beginning.
The way all our preparations were kept under such tight security.
That we didn't land on the moon, you're saying?
No, we didn't.
Every split second of this historic flight.
If we are successfully able to execute a touchdown and return.
11.
The moon landing in 69,
12,
which was 2 years before my birth.
10.
Total fiction.
9.
Total fiction.
To facilitate the broadcast media, we will precede each announcement with a 5-second tone followed by a 1-second pause.
Why would the government ever want or need to do? Why would the government need to do something like that?
9. We have ignition.
Because it is impossible
6.
to get to the moon.
5.
It's impossible to go.
Okay, all flight controllers going around the hole. Okay, retro, go. Fido, go. Guide, go. Control, go. Com, go. GNC, go. Ecom, go. Surgeon, go. Capcom, work.
Why did they have to fake it?
I'm just saying,
why?
Why would the government need to do something like that? Why would the government ever want or need to do? Why would the government need to do something like that?
9. We have ignition.
Because it is impossible
6.
to get to the moon.
5.
It's impossible to go.
11.
The moon landing in 69,
12,
which was 2 years before my birth.
10.
Total fiction.
9.
10 seconds. 9.
Total fiction.
8. We have ignition. 6. 5. We have outboard engines. 3. We have inboard engines. 1. 0. We have a launch commit. We have a liftoff at 35 minutes after the hour.
Liftoff.
With my help. With my aid. And it is bothering me.
Take us back to the beginning.
The way all our preparations were kept under such tight security.
That we didn't land on the moon, you're saying?
No, we didn't.
Why did they have to fake it?
So I'm just saying,
Why?
why would the government need to do something like that?
Because it is impossible to get.
To the moon
I'm sorry.
in this decade
I'm afraid I can't do that.
because they are hard.
Ignition sequence start.
It's a little bit of a stretch of the imagination.
1.
Launch commit.
Liftoff.
Liftoff.
With my help. With my aid. And it is bothering me.
Okay, back up.
You're telling me why me? Why not? Why not CNN? Is that so? That's the 15-year thing. So that makes sense now. That's why you won't. I can't release this for 15 years. That makes total sense now.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about whatever you want. You know, this isn't some type of joke or
No, it's not
film
joke.
within a film thing.
Not a joke. Nope.
Okay.
The conspiracy theorists were right on this occasion.
Why? You were manipulated.
I was manipulated, but as my wife said,
We've got it.
I made the choice.
We've got it.
How about you walk me through it?
Stanley Kubrick,
I was contacted before I started making 2001.
the man who created 2001, you kind of wonder if he made a deal.
Under the Masonic moon. One hoped that the boys would come home soon.
He was brought into it.
The mechanics of it.
They had seen Strangelove.
He
requested use of the
B-52s
to film.
He'd sent the Pentagon the script, and they read the script and said no.
Under the Masonic moon.
He got pictures from Aviation Weekly, and with his set designer, they rebuilt the interior and the exterior of B-52s using photographs. They got word of this, and they sent 2 people. They had visited England, where he was filming, to look at what he was doing, and he actually told people on the set that he may get arrested here. He wasn't sure what would happen.
One more day and they'll drop from the plane and splash into the ocean.
And they came on the set, and they were
very impressed,
completely blown away.
We're aware that you were in the presence of genius.
By the look. They were very impressed by the final...
great film. Great film.
Under the Masonic moon.
It's one of my personal favorites. Yes.
There was a difference of opinion. There were some that just believed honestly that we will never be able to get there. There's just no chance.
Some people didn't believe that you could go even?
Well, Werner von Braun, of course, didn't.
The director didn't think.
Werner von Braun and his conspirators got a free ride to the States.
Radioactive half-life.
The man was just too brilliant.
They turned Nazi into NASA.
He knew that.
I'm convinced that in the space field,
that we couldn't do it.
It is commonly believed that man will fly directly from the Earth to the moon. But to do this, we would require a vehicle of such gigantic proportions that it would prove an economic impossibility.
the Russians are ahead of us. After we are running as fast as they do,
they just couldn't wait.
I would think that
there's still a considerable gap to close.
It would not be difficult, mein Führer.
And only...
I'm sorry, Mr. President.
Under the Masonic moon.
The Future will tell whether we'll manage to
Possibly
close that gap.
100 years?
And the political, I mean, they'd spent all that money, I guess.
Yes.
Now, I gotta be honest, I'm completely confused. I mean, hearing about the Van Allen radiation belt and hearing about the technology problems and all the propaganda, I don't know what to think. Now, I gotta be honest, I'm completely confused. I mean, hearing about the Van Allen radiation belt and hearing about the technology problems and all the propaganda, I don't know what to think.
What was the process of doing it like?
Certainly hope that that we would take the more successful approaches that have been used in this kind of a program and find ways to apply those approaches to other problems.
We see the Earth now. You got it.
And we're a great country. We have a lot of abilities, and when we direct our efforts toward an understood goal, we usually solve the problems.
Committing the greatest fraud.
Swing arm now coming back.
What you want to call it? I'm not saying it's a.
Okay. Think a lot about that at the time.
I know, so I'm not making a moral judgment, but
as our countdown continues,
making this huge, ambitious, technical faux landing, was it?
Skip Chauvin informing the astronauts that the swing arm now coming back.
Harder than 2001? Was it very difficult? I mean, what was the experience like?
4 minutes and counting.
This was the supreme challenge.
Why?
We are go for Apollo 11.
Because it was absolutely necessary, not only that people believe it,
We'll be coming up in the automatic sequence,
but they believe it in spite of the facts.
So about 10 or 15 seconds from this time.
Everything I was filming was a lie.
The vehicle starting to pressurize as far as the propellant tanks are concerned.
On a grand scale.
A Stanley Kubrick production. There was too much riding on this whole thing.
I kept on falling short of something.
You basically are given a blank check by the government. And you go where to film this? Where?
An enormous soundstage.
We shot it in a studio.
They had built one in Palmdale or Lancaster, I heard. I don't know where it was.
Somewhere in Nevada.
1/10 scale model.
You can't say where.
All right, people.
No, because everything in Nevada stays in Nevada. But anyway.
Okay.
Let's get started.
That's good enough. Fair enough. So.
Okay, fine. Let's just try one, okay?
This was all staged, and that's why the video was so crappy in many cases, especially when the lunar module lifted off. It just looked like third-rate video, and they did that on purpose to obscure the fact that it was a model.
This was...
Hey, why don't we just try?
National.
The biggest fiction.
Is that the case?
Well,
of them all.
Just a little bit of a
direct buy.
The audience is usually aware of the fiction.
This is a special kind of situation.
This was like a documentary.
And everything is go. 00197.
But
at 17,400 miles per hour.
As much fictional
Roger, Eagle, Dundalk.
as anything else
Eagle has wings.
they've ever seen. Trying to make this trip possible. I'm gonna show you something. But we have to do it now. Because we were so damn close.
What happens there? You're on set, and you got to make a movie that no one knows is a movie.
You saw this sort of a once in a many lifetime opportunity.
That's one fast step for man.
About
no one knows it's a fiction movie.
Right. Well, they don't think it's a movie. They think it's live television programming. But you're faking live television.
Right. One giant receipt for mankind.
See, it even confuses me sometimes.
Well, it's meta layered.
To play with all these billions of dollars.
I take it in, but don't look down.
To make a movie that no one even knew was a movie.
I mean, you had to make a movie.
True, you know.
The ultimate.
Sometimes I actually believe it myself. It was that good.
I'm on top of the world. Hey.
You mean like when they have like the anniversary?
I'm on top of the world.
Right.
Yes, this was the ultimate. This was going to be my masterpiece. I felt it even then. I had to do this. I wanted to do it. I didn't care what was the reason for it. I wanted to do it. I needed to do it. It was like getting the life, the assignment, the production dream of a lifetime.
You can fool people with this. I am the greatest film artist of the 20th century.
Okay. It must have been the biggest challenge of your life.
Absolutely.